You are sitting in a coffee shop in Vienna when the man across from you slides a napkin under your cup. You don't look at him. You already know not to look at him. You take a sip of your coffee, fold the napkin into your jacket pocket, and check your watch like a man with a meeting to get to. 30 seconds later, he is gone. You never learned his name. You never will. The napkin has 7 numbers written in pencil. By tonight, those 7 numbers will trigger the transfer of classified military intelligence across 3 international borders. And you are the only person alive who knows exactly how. Welcome to your life, the one nobody knows you're living.
You didn't apply for this job. Not exactly. You were recruited, quietly, carefully, over the course of months, the way a river carves through stone, not with force, but with patience. Someone watched you long before you ever knew you were being watched. They studied your habits, your talents, your pressure points. They identified what you wanted and what you feared. And then, at precisely the right moment, they made you an offer that was framed so carefully it barely felt like a choice at all. Now you work for the SVR, Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, the successor to the KGB, though nobody uses that word in polite company anymore. An organization with roots that run deeper than governments, deeper than decades. An institution built on the understanding that information is the most powerful weapon ever created by human hands. You are not a soldier. You carry no weapon. You fight no visible war. You are something far more dangerous. You are a ghost operating inside the enemy's own house. You live a life that looks completely ordinary from the outside, a job, an apartment, a social circle, a daily routine that could belong to anyone. And underneath all of it, invisible and precise, runs a second life that serves one purpose and one purpose only. Moscow is always watching. Moscow is always listening. And Moscow expects results.
Your cover is airtight. It took 2 years to build it. On paper, you are a trade consultant working for a mid-sized European firm with offices in 3 cities. You travel frequently, you attend conferences, you shake hands with ministers and defense contractors and technology executives. You are charming, forgettable in exactly the right way, and fluent in 4 languages. Nobody looks twice at you because you give them no reason to. Your mornings begin with a security sweep. Before you check your phone, before you make coffee, you sweep the apartment for surveillance. Not because you are paranoid, because in this profession, paranoia is simply another word for survival. You check your windows, your door seams, the lamp you moved 3 inches to the left yesterday to see if anyone had been inside overnight. Then you check your dead drops. A dead drop is a location, a loose brick, a hollow bench leg, a marked tree in a public park, where information or materials are exchanged without 2 people ever meeting in the same place at the same time. You have 7 active dead drops across the city. Each one has a signal. A chalk mark on a specific wall means something has been left. The absence of the mark means stay away. You walk your route every morning like a man taking a pleasant stroll through a city he loves. Your handler is a man you know only as Dmitri. You have met him in person exactly 4 times in 3 years. He communicates through encrypted channels, through coded messages embedded in ordinary-looking emails, through signals so subtle that anyone watching would see nothing but noise. When Dmitri contacts you, you respond within 6 hours, always, without exception. The intelligence you gather moves through layers. You collect, you encode, you pass it forward. What happens after that is not your concern. You are one node in a network so compartmentalized that no single person holds enough information to destroy the whole. That is by design. That is your protection and your prison.
8 months into your current assignment, something feels wrong. You cannot point to a single moment or a single person. It is a texture, a subtle shift in the atmosphere around you. The way certain things that used to feel invisible have begun to feel slightly too visible. The man who reads a newspaper at the same cafe table 3 mornings in a row. The black sedan that appears in your peripheral vision on 2 separate streets in one afternoon. Small things. Things that could mean nothing. But in your world, things that could mean nothing almost always mean something. You send a coded alert to Dmitry. 48 hours of silence follow, the longest 48 hours of your life. You maintain your routine perfectly. You go to work, you attend a conference dinner, you laugh at someone's joke. You are completely, terrifyingly calm on the outside, while inside your mind is running threat assessments at every waking moment. Dmitry finally responds. 2 words embedded in an ordinary message. Stay clean. That means they know something. That means the operation is under pressure from a direction you cannot see. And it means that whatever you do in the next 72 hours will determine whether you walk away from this assignment or disappear into a situation that has no good endings. You identified the surveillance on a Tuesday afternoon. 2 teams, rotating shifts, at least 4 individuals that you can confirm, possibly 6. They are good, professional grade, not local police. This is a counterintelligence operation. Someone has been building a file on you. The question that keeps you awake that night is not whether they are watching. The question is how much they already know. You make a decision that goes against every protocol. You request an emergency meeting with Dmitry. He agrees. That alone tells you everything. Dmitry never agrees to emergency meetings unless the situation has passed the point where protocol can protect you. You meet in a museum on a Wednesday morning, a crowded gallery on the 2nd floor, surrounded by tourists in school groups, the best possible cover 2 people in your position can have. Dmitry is already there when you arrive, standing in front of a painting, hands clasped behind his back. You stand beside him. Neither of you looks at the other. He speaks quietly, facing the canvas. There is a leak, he says. Someone inside the network has been talking. We do not know who. We do not know how much they have given away. He pauses for exactly 3 seconds. There is a possibility the leak is you. The room does not change. The tourists keep moving. The school children keep chattering. And you stand completely still in front of a painting you will never remember, while the ground beneath your entire life shifts like sand. You have one move. Dmitry outlines it in 45 seconds. Clean, precise, no room for questions. There is an asset, a counterintelligence officer inside the agency that is currently surveilling you, who has been on Moscow's payroll for 11 years. This officer has the access to pull your file, identify what the surveillance team actually knows, and if necessary, corrupt the evidence chain. But activating this asset requires a direct approach, no dead drops, no encoded messages. A face-to-face meeting, in the open, in enemy territory, with full surveillance potentially watching your every move. If it works, you walk away clean. The file disappears, the operation continues. If it fails, there is no extraction plan. Moscow will deny you completely. You will not exist in any record they control. You will be, in every sense that matters, alone. You agree without hesitating, because this is who you are now. The person who hesitates is already dead. The meeting happens in a hotel bar on a Thursday evening. You sit across from a man whose face you studied from a photograph for 6 hours. He orders whiskey, you order water. 12 minutes of conversation that looks to anyone watching like 2 business acquaintances catching up.
Underneath the table, a folded document passes from your hand to his. He does not look at it. He does not acknowledge it. He finishes his whiskey, shakes your hand, and leaves.
The surveillance pulls back within 4 days. Not completely, it never goes completely, but enough. The file on you, whatever it contained, stops moving through the system. The counterintelligence operation quietly shifts its focus. You are not cleared. You are simply no longer the priority. In your world, that is the closest thing to safe that exists. But the leak is never found. Someone inside the network talked and is still talking. The organization knows it. You know it. And that knowledge sits inside every encrypted message, every dead drop, every coded signal from Dmitri, like a splinter that cannot be removed. Trust, in a world built entirely on deception, was always a fragile thing. Now it is something closer to fiction. You continue your work. You attend your conferences. You shake your hands. You walk your routes through the city every morning like a man with nowhere particular to be. You are very good at this life. That is both your greatest achievement and your most dangerous truth, because the better you become at living a lie, the further away the truth of who you actually are begins to feel. There are mornings when you stand in front of the mirror and the face looking at you belongs to your cover identity more than it belongs to you. That is when you know this life has gone all the way in.
Then one evening, Dmitri sends a message unlike any you have received before. No code, no encryption, plain language, which in your world means only one thing. There is no longer time for subtlety. They have identified the leak. It is someone you have met, someone you trusted. You need to come in, tonight. You read the message twice. You close the channel. You sit in your apartment in the dark for a long moment, thinking about every person you have allowed close enough to trust over the past 3 years, running their faces through your mind one by one. And then, one face stops you cold. You reach for your coat.